NK Telco Sports welcomes you to our coverage of high school basketball, where the Russia Raiders will take on the Sidney Yellow Jackets. Tonight's game is brought to you by the following sponsors: First National Bank, Keyhole Pizza, Precision Strip, Winners Meats, Grand Lake Health Systems, and NK Telco. Welcome once again to the Hive here in Sidney. I'm Dave Helmstetter. With me tonight, Brandon Coverman. And the start of the high school basketball season in Ohio and in our area and on NK Telco Sports. Got Sidney and Russia. Always an interesting non-league match. And tonight the Raiders come in to play with number one, they have a new coach in Mike Bayshore. And a lot of new faces on that varsity squad. Of course, they're led by Ronnie Poling, a very outstanding, a very strong inside basketball player, Brandon.
Yeah, you take a look at this Raider team coming off a district championship last year, 22-5. A lot of seniors graduate. About 85% of the scoring graduates from that team last year. And new coach Michael Bayshore comes in, took a few years off from coaching, had experience with coaching on the guys' side, takes the Russia girls' job here. A lot of people saying good, positive things about him in the community. But you take a look at this team, you know, a lot of freshmen and sophomores, but they're going to be led by Ronnie Poling there, leading in the post here for this Russia team that's looking to make some noise here. It's going to be a little bit of a youth movement here this year for the Raiders, but a lot of excitement around this Russia program.
And you go to the flip side, and the home team, the Sidney Yellow Jackets, under head coach Jamal Foster. They had a great season last year, winners of the Miami Valley League, and wanted to go a little further in the tournament. But when you look at their roster, they lost 3 players that are playing college basketball today.
Yeah, Jamal Foster in his 5th season has done a fantastic job. They bring back a lot of talent. They lost some talent, Allie Stockton and Lexi Brewer, Reagan Clark. But you bring back some talent like Jordan Scully, Larkin Vordemark, as well, and Khalees McNeil. A lot of excitement still around this Sidney team that could win a Miami Valley League title this year.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem on NK Telco Sports.
The Hometown Opportunity Platform is exceptional.
It is focused, laser focused on the careers in our 4-county region.
100% of the time we go to Hometown Opportunity. We've had great success from a handful of applications when we need them, as well as a recent one where we had 67 applicants.
Honestly, it's a competitive advantage.
The hometown experience has been everything I could have dreamed of and more.
And they'll be introducing the starting lineups here in just a moment. And you take a look at the Sidney squad, and they, with all those outstanding players that they did lose for the Yellow Jackets, they are asking for. It's interesting to see that Jamal Foster is asking for just a little bit of respect from his team.
Yeah, he has high expectations, and he didn't, losing people like Alex Stockton and Lexi Brewer is a lot, but he wants the Sidney program to be a consistent contender.
Starting lineups tonight: number 4, Ronnie Poling, an honorable mention Shelby County Athletic League player from a year ago. Number 20, Gene Chappie. Number 21, Addison Chappie. And number 32, Hazel Francis, freshman in the Raiders lineup. And number 42, Shay Hammonds. That's the starters for the Raiders. Poling, Chappie, Francis, and Hammonds, the starters tonight for the Raiders. And the home team, the Sidney Yellow Jackets. Starting lineup for the Yellow Jackets. Number 11, Kendall Dickman. Number 30, there's Cameron Edwards. Kiera Hudgens, number 1, a senior for the Yellow Jackets. Jordan Scully, a junior, number 23, first team all MVL a year ago. And I'll call her running mate, Larkin Vordermark, another first-team all MVL players. So it's Hudgens, Vordermark, Dickman, Scully, and Edwards for the Yellow Jackets. Now let's move on to our keys to the game tonight, brought to you by Keyhole Pizza. First, for the visiting Russia Raiders.
Thanks, Dave. And you talk about running mates, Vordermark and Scully being juniors. Coach Bayshore talked about handling that Sidney pressure that those guards are going to bring. The Raiders guards are a little younger. These guys, Vordermark and Scully, are on the veteran end. So Raiders got to handle that. They got to be able to limit unforced errors and turnovers. They want to be able to score in transition before that Sidney defense can set up any pressure.
And for the Yellow Jackets of head coach Jamal Foster, keys to the game for the Yellow Jackets.
They want to win the glass, specifically against Ronnie Pulling, convert easy baskets, and execute and defend.
Those are the keys to the game, brought to you by Keyhole Pizza. We're underway. Short jumper. Kiera Hudgens puts the Yellow Jackets on the board with 7:41 to go. And the first basket of the 2023-24 girls basketball season has been recorded. Raiders will turn it over. I always enjoy the comments of Coach Foster. It's create chaos.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, exactly. You want to get the other team out of sync and out of system.
In play goes Hudgens. Looking inside at Edwards. Back out for a three-pointer. Pops in and out by Scully, and Hammonds will clear the boards. It'll go to the corner. Back out front and Shappy. Hammonds goes inside. There's the move by Poling. She puts it up and in.
You're going to see that power move by Ronnie Poling a lot of times this year if you're a Raiders fan. It's going to be tough to stop. You're going to see Sidney make adjustments on that throughout the night.
Tough player to stop inside is Poling. As they try to looking for Hudgens. Ball's going to be out of bounds, and that's going to be a turnover by the Yellow Jackets.
Good baseline defense there by Russia. Sidney looks a little quicker. You maybe got to give him a step there, but that's great help side defense there by the Raiders to force a turnover.
One thing we should note to the basketball fans out there that there is a rule change for this new season.
Yeah, with the 5 fouls per quarter, and then it's a double bonus. The 1-and-1 no longer exists in high school basketball. And there's Ronnie Poling again.
Hammonds with the assist. And it's 4-2. Nice strong pass by Hammonds inside, and Poling pulls it in, puts it off the glass, and the Raiders are up 4-2. Inside off balance shot, no good. Rebound will come off to Addison Shappy. Up court she comes, looks to her right side. And they'll go inside, and that's going to be a foul on Cameron Edwards.
And you like the Raiders are go-to Poling right away. You know, go where your matchups are. And like I said, you're going to see Coach Jamal Foster make this adjustment here, coming on Cameron Edwards here early on.
Raiders up 4-2. Back out front to Poling. Poling to the right side, and Shappy. Hammonds inside Poling. Hammonds is going to lead the world in assists.
Yeah, you get into Ronnie Poling. They're giving him that one-on-one matchup, so just take it, and I like that passing by Shea Hammonds.
Out front, Vordermark dishes it off inside Dickman. Vordermark trying to work that baseline. Should come out the other side as Scully will handle it. Edwards. Yellow Jackets will be patient. Clock coming up on 5 minutes. They'll pull it out. Hudgens will set it up. Sidney sideline shouting instructions. It's going to be a foul on the baseline. That's going to go against Hammond.
And that's what you want to see. Sidney's going to try to create those isolated matchups because they got the speed advantage here. So they talked about the Raiders stepping back and trying to give Sidney a step, try to be able to cut him off to a point here, trying to not let him slash to the basket because I think they have the advantage in terms of guard experience here tonight.
Vordermark Hudgens, she'll get the basketball. Back out to Vordermark. Wants to go inside, double teamed. Off the glass is the shot. Larkin Vordermark makes it a 6-4 game on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard.
Nice tough basket there by Larkin Vordermark. And there's the double from Sidney on Poling.
Back over to Shappy. Poling out front. Francis to the right side. Back out front to Hammonds. There's the cut by Shappy. They'll come back inside to Poling. She'll make a move, but Vordermark almost had the steal. Hammonds gets it back out. Francis will connect. The freshman, Hazel Francis, with the basket.
You're going to see a lot of young guards here. Hazel Francis. Courtney Flippo is going to be another young guard that's going to come off the bench, too. Like I said, a lot of youth on this Raider team.
Vordermark goes inside and going to call a jump ball. Possession arrow favors the Raiders.
You know, one thing this new rule change, Dave, I think rewards is good defense. And one of the things that you're going to see here is teams, it improves the pace of play, but it also rewards that good defense. If you can sit and guard, you're going to be able to be rewarded by this new system of free throws as well. Great defensive possession there by the Raiders.
Claudia Haney, number 3, into the lineup. She has the basketball. Looks inside towards Poling. She'll pull it out, go to her left, finds an open Raider inside, and Hazel Francis will score the basket.
She was open initially, a late look, and Hazel Francis was just able to get that shot off.
Scully's 3, shot no good. Raiders come away with it as Flippo will bring it up court.
Got to get that count off her.
10-4, Russia with the early lead as we hit the 3-minute mark. Poling inside, off the glass. Poling with another basket. She's in double figures already. Hudgens fouled at the shot, and that will be on Hazel Francis.
Like I say, we're going to see Sidney start creating probably more screens up top. Got to be able to, if you're Rushi, communicate and get through those screens. I like that possession for Sidney. Try to get your slashers to the basket. Kimura Johnson, Larkin, Vordermark, to be able to get them. They like that nice physical contact on the inside, and it's a good attack there by Johnson to draw a foul. Hopefully you can draw those fouls on someone like Ronnie Poling, try to get her out of the game.
Hudgens hits the first. Sidney has confidence in her free throw shooting ability. She'll hit the second. Kind of an unofficial timeout there by Coach Foster.
Yeah. 4/5 of your players there. Sending up, bringing in Olivia Foy now. Freshman.
Double team and a timeout. Raiders take the break. All timeouts this season brought to you by Precision Strip. It's a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. Remind you that tonight's game brought to you by First National Bank, Keyhole Pizza, Precision Strip, Winners Meats, Grand Lake Health Systems, and NK Telco. Additional sponsors, CarriageWorks, Chiltech, LLC, Cy Schwiedemann, Dickman Supply, Elmwood Assisted Care, Hometown Opportunity, Hillsman Automotive, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric, Minster Bank, Knoxville Supply, SecureCom, Bud's Chrysler Dodge Jeep, Crown Equipment, Shelby County Veteran Services, St. Henry Bank, and WCSM Radio, and our live view sponsor tonight, Cargill. 12-6 our score. Russia with the early lead.
Seeing Sidney be a lot more physical now here, Dave, and double teaming a lot here.
Olivia Foy into the lineup for the Yellow Jackets. Foul will go against Larkin Vordermark, much to her disbelief or surprise, perhaps.
Sidney trying to kind of break a little streak here in this kind of rivalry. It's been a typical Rushi and Sidney's matched up here for a while. Raiders won, I think, really 7 or 8 in a row. I think it's been since 2015, the last time Sidney's won in this series, trying to snap that streak here tonight.
Yeah, Rushie's won 6 of the last 10 meetings, 27-18 overall. Foul inside. It's going to go on Kendall Dickman, will draw the foul. That's the third foul with 2:24 to go here in our first quarter. As Claudia Haney will step to the line. Sophomore. Free throw hits the front of the iron. Poling will come back into the lineup here in just a moment. Second free throw is good. (13-6) our score. Hudgens with 4 of Sidney's 6 points. Schroyer with the basketball. Number 14, Jada Schroyer, sophomore in the lineup. Hudgens feeds it off. Shot off the glass, doesn't fall for Vordermark. Here come the Raiders up court quickly. Outside jumper. Flippo, no good. Vordermark, good position. Gets it over to Hudgens. Hudgens racing it up court. Schroyer's shot, no good. Poling will pull the rebound down. Hudgens bats it away. Raiders in control now as Flippo brings it up court. Gets it to Callie Goubeau into the lineup. Poling has it, back to Goubeau. Flippo trying to work off of Hammond. She'll pull back. Looks to her left side where Hazel Francis is, but she'll go right. Defense pushing her to the right side. She's in trouble. There's the turnover. Ball taken away there by Olivia Foy, and Hudgens will have it. Vordermark into the lane. Right-handed shot, no good. Poling just clears the boards, and Vordermark will be guilty of the foul.
You know, Vordermark's got to watch it. She's got 2 fouls there. She could have about got a technical from hearing her voice up here in the stands, and she's frustrated going to the bench right away. She had thought both calls against her were ticky-tacky here early on. And she's very frustrated going to the bench.
Here come the Raiders. 7-point lead for Arushi under first-year coach Mike Bayshore. Hammonds back out front. Hudgens goes for the steal. Doesn't get it. Shappy to the baseline. Got to be off of Shappy, and Sidney will have the basketball with 46.9 seconds to go here in the opening quarter of play.
One thing I think you're going to see different about this Rushi team compared to the ones in the years past is they're going to run a little deeper. They're going to run probably about 8, 9 girls out there instead of about the typical 7 they have in the past that they did last year under Coach Paul Bremingen. So I think you're going to see a little more depth here for the Raiders this year, so to speak, more bodies out there.
Out front's Dickman. Into the lane, Scully. Nice move, but shot hits the front of the iron. Clock coming up on 25 seconds. Shappy inside Poling, dumps it off to teammate Hammonds. Just under the hoop a little bit, but she draws the foul. And Hammonds will go to the line. Foul will be on Jada Schroer. That's her 4th. So with 17.8 seconds to go, if the Yellow Jackets would foul, Sidney will go and get 2 free throws. Hammond's shot, no good. Raiders going to sub for the shooter, which kind of effectively stops things and allows them to set their pressure up.
Yep. It's a good idea.
If, of course, you make a free throw. But then again, if you got Ronnie Poling rebounding, it'll work also. 9-point lead. Clock did not start. Froze at 15.5 seconds.
And Ronnie Poling getting another board there and crashing. She's in double figures already with 10. Just a hot start for the senior. Like I said, you've been seeing Sidney been making adjustments toward her. They're getting a little more pressure. I'd keep being aggressive if I'm Coach Jamal Foster. You had a couple calls that maybe are 50-50 that hadn't gone your way in the first quarter, but I like the pressure. This is a young team. You're the more veteran team. Make those young players from Russia beat you. I like the strategy. I'd keep going with that if I'm Sidney.
Raiders have played some pretty good defense.
They
also.
have.
That depth that you talked about, Brandon, is a real plus. You keep running out fresh players. Hudgens goes inside off the glass and she'll score with about 7.5 seconds to go in the quarter. 15-8 our score. Ball goes to the right side, but that's going to end the first quarter of basketball. Russia 15, Sidney 8. You're watching high school basketball on NK Telco Sports.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
First quarter belongs to the Russia Raiders, 15-8. Sidney with the basketball to start quarter number 2 as you're watching girls high school basketball here in NK Telco Sports. It's going to be a foul inside on number 32. I think it'll go against Hazel Francis.
Yep. That's going to be her second. And nice cut there by Scully. That's what happens when we talk about when you see a screen. The coaches give that term, bump the cutter. You got to bump the cutter, get right in front of them so that they don't get, good positioning on the inside against you. And that's what happened right there. And Scully was able to get around him, and it forced a foul. And now Celeste Borcher's in the lineup now for Hazel Francis, another freshman.
Number 22, just to the right of the shooter. And Scully will connect on the free throw. 6-point Russia lead. Addison Shappy, ball turned over. Here comes Schroyer. Dumps it off. Scully. Boy, Schroyer made a nice defensive play and then unselfish. Dumps it off to the trailing Scully, and the Jackets pulled to within 4 points.
Yeah, I like this three-quarter court pressure by Sidney. It's what you want to go to here, except if you can't get back on defense.
Celeste Borchers gets the easy bucket off the glass.
Scully being patient here, waiting for a screen here. Step back.
There's the step back off the front of the iron. Scully definitely can shoot the three as Poling clears the boards. Borchers goes to the baseline. Ball tipped out by the Yellow Jackets. So
I'll never forget Scully 2 years ago as a freshman starting her first game of varsity here against Russia. She came out first 2 possessions and fired 2 threes quickly, so she's not afraid to shoot the basketball.
She's got that touch. Her and Vordermark with that three-point range, which is why Sidney was so very effective last year with Stockton, Clark, and Brewer. Solid squad for the Yellow Jackets a year ago.
We're starting to see Sidney become more physical here, and that's what they should have really been doing from the jump, that three-quarter court pressure they were putting on. I think they were just trying to feel the game out a little bit, and they realized kind of, the matchups that Russia was looking at. They knew to get the ball to Poling, and now you see them trying to challenge Russia's guards a little bit, which is a good adjustment by Coach Foster.
Addison Shappy with it. Back over to the left side. Jayla Shappy now handling the basketball as Borchers. Dishes it off for the three-point shot. Addison Shappy off target. Poling falling away. Unable to connect on that one. That might be her first miss. She hasn't That was a tough shot by Poling.
Rushi's just killing Sidney on the board. Sidney only has 1 rebound all game.
Turnaround shot by Poling. Edwards will clear the boards, but there's going to be a foul. It's going to go against Poling. That's the second foul here in the quarter. 6:02 to go on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard. Hudgens across the timeline. Edwards out front. Back over to Schroer. Schroer pulls up, takes a shot, no good. Rebound, it's loose. Foy has it. Back out to Scully. Shot no good. And Celeste Borchers with the rebound. Up court quickly. Here come the Raiders. Shappy back over to Poling. Tries to go inside. Took that extra step because you could hear the groan from the crowd.
Key question is when Coach Foster is going to sub back in Larkin Vortemart sitting down there with 2 fouls. Being a little conservative with her early on. I'd say Russia has the advantage in Sidney in terms of depth here tonight.
Out front is Scully trying to work it one-on-one. Making that move inside, but good defense there by Borchers.
Shappy doing a nice job denying that baseline there from Scully and to get a timeout from Coach Foster.
They take a 30-second timeout. Our timeouts this season brought to you by Precision Strip. Coach Foster takes the timeout, 17-11, Arushi with the lead. I'd like to remind you that NK Telco Sports and its sponsors pleased to bring you replays of tonight's high school varsity basketball action on NK Telco Cable or the NKT.TV app, Channel 153, Monday at 6 p.m., Channel 156, Monday also at 6 p.m., Channel 3 and 503, December the 8th at 12 p.m. and December 9th at 2 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. High school basketball season is opening up tonight here on NK Telco Sports. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dave Helmstetter, with me, Brandon Coverman from the Hive in Sidney, as Harushi and Sidney, and what's pretty much been a traditional opener for these two schools.
Yeah. It's good to be back with you too, Dave. It's good to be back in action.
We're back there. We're looking at a playoff football game about a month ago.
Yeah, and there's one going on behind us right now,
too.
One
behind us. Yeah, parking is an interesting scenario here tonight. And Sidney's got it well organized.
They do.
Very well organized. Turnover by the Yellow Jackets, 17-11. Shot no good there by Jayla Shappy. Rebound to Hudgens. Hudgens runs the court. Scully from her spot, and there it is. We knew it was coming, Brandon, sooner or later.
That's the first 3 hit by anyone here tonight. That's the thing that's been lacking is outside shooting, and if anyone's going to be, shooting it from the outside, it's probably going to be Jordan Scully here tonight.
17-14 our score in that First National Think First scoreboard. Borchers trying to go inside. Hammond's going to take an extra step, so that's a turnover for the Raiders.
Rushia's got to find a little flow here on offense. They're getting outscored here 6-2 this quarter. And Poling's going to head to the bench here to Lacey Flippo, going to come and get her first action.
Hudgens will walk it up court. Jada Schroyer back over to Scully. Kira Hudgens. Scully a little deeper this time. Just a little bit short, and the rebound will come down to Lacey Flippo. Flippo goes to the left side as Shappy will handle it out front. Flippo's shot is short. Vordemark with a rebound. Races up court across the timeline. Hudgens in the corner. The three, it's short.
They're getting
Schroyer
really
pushes it back out to Scully. Shot no good. Hudgens, I'm not sure how she got that rebound, but she did.
Sidney getting really shot happy from the outside. I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of if I was a Sidney fan, because, you know, really your sweet spot's your speed. And they're 1 of 8 from the outside mark right now. They've been doing better on defense here, limiting Russia and bringing more pressure and getting turnovers like that, though. Russia is racking up the turnovers now. They're at 7 compared to Sidney's 3.
Unforced turnover, really, that time, too. So 17-14. Yellow Jackets can move closer. Russia's led all the way in this one. Larkin Vordemark back in the lineup for Sidney, number 4. Gets over to Kendall Dickman. Back over to Scully, trying to go inside. Somehow maintains control.
Wow.
Puts a reverse layup up. Mike Bayshore wanted a travel or something.
Yeah, I don't think she had control there. I think Shappy deflected the ball, which I think was a good no call by the official.
Shappy double team. In trouble. Gets it back over to Borchers. She'll go to the right side, and Flippo. Flippo goes to the baseline, pulls it back out. Hudgens on her, and that's a 5-second call.
Coach Bayshore not happy about that, but that's what Sidney, a good adjustment there by Coach Foster, being more physical here with the guards. They said that was going to be the question with the Raiders. A lot of their guards are youthful and, you know, not really at the varsity level experience yet, because, you know, a lot of them last year were seniors. And now Sidney realizing they got to challenge that, and they've been able to cause some Russia turnovers here and create that chaos like you alluded to earlier, Dave, on defense.
Sidney has an opportunity to take the lead here. 1:50 to go, second quarter. Hudgens pull-up jumper, no good. Rebound to Addison Shappy. She'll slow it down just a little bit as the Raiders go across the timeline. Borchers, 15-footer, shot no good. Vordemark turns, and it's going to be a jump ball.
Russia's missed their last 5 shots from the field. Let's take a jump ball here. Sidney's owned this quarter. I mean, they're up, you know, in the scoring column 8-2 this quarter.
Hudgens over to Vordemark, 15-footer. Shot doesn't go, and it's going to go out of bounds. Looks like it's off Addison Shappy as Sidney will inbound it. Scully, Vordemark, back out front to Hudgens. Back over to Scully for the 3, and Yellow Jackets have the lead. Set play, Brandon.
Yeah, they just got caught up in the screen there to Jayla Shappy. Great design there by Sidney, and they take their first lead of the night, since it was 2-0 actually.
19-17, Hudgens gets the steal, feeds Vordemark, moves inside, puts it up, no good. Gets her own rebound and will draw the foul.
Yeah, Russia's got to slow it down here. He's got to, you know, find what was working earlier on offense here and, you know, try to get the ball to the inside to Poling. And just kind of all out of sorts here lately.
Sidney's kind of gone to a little bit smaller lineup,
yeah,
too, and that's really helped them. Or at least at this point in time, it's helped them. As the free throw rolls home, allows them to get up the court just a little bit quicker. And it's 20-17, and Sidney is taking a 3-point lead here. Free throw is short, ball tipped out. Shappy. Scully on her. Shappy with the shot. She'll hit it.
Yeah.
1 point Sidney lead.
Great shot by Shappy, but look at the overplay on Sidney. That's how they got girls helping out everywhere now. They have 3 girls just going to the ball. The Raiders got to be able to make a pass and a rotation to someone else quickly there, because you see 3 Sidney girls flying to the ball. Anytime Rushi drives in the lane, which is what you want to see if you're Coach Jamal Foster. But if you're Russia, it just got to be a beat quicker on offense. But lucky for them last possession, Shappy made the shot.
Russia trying to take the lead on this possession. Back over to Shappy. Out front, goes to the left side. Addison Shappy with the shot. It's going to be a little bit short. Ball on the floor, jump ball. Inbounds pass. Raiders on the clock. They'll get it in. Borchers dumps it off, tries to dump it off to Hammonds. It's going to stay Raider basketball.
Wow, Russia got a call there.
I don't know. I think that was tipped out of bounds by Foy.
Was it? I thought it went off Russia. This is where we need our replay review.
That's why. There you go. We both have different opinion on that. Crowd has a different opinion, too, than me. Here comes the rebound. There's the break. It's Scully at the buzzer. And that's it. First half ends in exciting fashion. Yellow Jackets cling to a 1-point lead as the two teams head to the locker room. Great opener here on NK Telco Sports. Our score, Sidney 20, Russia 19. You are watching high school basketball on NK Telco Sports.
At First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it. And online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
Here at halftime, we're just a couple minutes away from the start of tonight's second half. Take a look at our numbers from that first half. Halftime statistics all brought to you by Grand Lake Health Systems and Brandon. First half numbers, probably a tale of two quarters in a sense.
Yeah.
The stats kind of flip on the Russia Raiders. Started well, and in the second quarter, Sidney bounces right back.
Yeah, you take a look here at the numbers powered by Grand Lake Health Systems. 11 of 20 Rushias from the field. They're 0 of 6 from beyond the arc. 9 turnovers, 14 rebounds, and 1 of 4 from the charity stripe. Sidney on the flip side, they're 6 of 16 from the field. Or sorry, 6 of 21. Sorry, I take that back from the field. They're 2 of 9 from beyond the arc. 3 turnovers, 12 rebounds, 4 of 6 from the free throw line. I think really you take a look at Russia. What do you adjust to? You started out good in the first quarter. What happened? Ronnie Pulling had 10 points. That's what's happened. Sidney's amped up that pressure. If you're Russia, you got to find a way to get the ball on the inside. You shot 55%, so when you're shooting it pretty well. You're not shooting it well from beyond the arc, but trying to get the ball on the inside. Sidney's pressure is really what affected that first quarter. Russia led 15-8 after the quarter. Now Sidney has a 1-point edge and will have the ball to start the second half. But Russia has to navigate a way around this pressure that Sidney's been able to apply. And if you're Sidney, I would keep slashing the basket. They shot it a lot that second half. They were able to get out and transition more that second quarter, which I think benefited them. But it'll be interesting to see how this second half unfolds here, Dave, because it was a tale of two quarters, definitely that first half.
And the Yellow Jackets, you make a good point. They're going to play this up-tempo style, and that's the way they played for the last few years under Coach Foster. And that also doesn't allow Russia to get the ball inside because it's more of a transition game.
Yeah.
Takes a little bit of that away from the Raiders as well. So, well, let's see what happens. Thanks for joining us here in NK Telco Sports. Hudgens with the basketball. Dickman out front. Hammond's on her. Raiders playing straight man-to-man defense here. As Scully moves into the lane, gets it over to Vordemark, will work the baseline. Tries to do a reverse layup, but finds the hand of Ronnie Poling on the basketball. Nice defensive play by Poling. Now the Raiders can take the lead. Ball in the corner.
Rushi was being physical that first quarter. They played, a good physical brand of basketball. Now Kimora Johnson, just like that, up in the Raiders square, got to be able to move the ball a little quicker here. The Raiders have kind of slowed down from that physicality they showed the first quarter. That's what they got to adjust here. Look at the Sidney defense. They're about bracketing Ronnie Poling here.
They're getting two people on Ronnie Poling as they move it outside on the inbounds pass to Addison Shappy. Hudgens will guard her and putting a lot of pressure on there as Schroyer kind of comes over to try and get the double team. Comes back over to Shappy for three. Addison Shappy. Boy, what a big three by Shappy, and the junior connects.
Yeah, she's going to be the Rushi's best pure shooter. I think that's one thing that you're not going to see them do a lot this year is shoot threes, but if you had to look for the best player to do it, Addison Shappy's the one.
Big time shot by Shappy. Inside the lane, and Scully's going to lose it out of bounds.
And Scully was trying to advocate for maybe a little bit of a foul there, but physical defense there by Rushi.
Inbounds pass, and here comes that pressure we're talking about.
Yeah, which I like from Sidney's point of view, and there's a travel. That's what that pressure is going to occur. You got to be able to kind of slow it down. That right there where Addison Shappy stopped is a bad spot. You got to be able to slow down. You got 10 seconds. It's longer than you think. You can't go move too slow, but you can also move the way you just did on the last possession.
Coach Bayshore trying to get a timeout, but the travel occurred as Poling will grab the rebound and immediately yells out to his team, run the press breaker. Shappy handling the basketball. Dumps it off to Francis off the glass. Hazel Francis.
Great cut by Hazel. That's moving without the basketball, and that's what develops good offense, is moving without the ball.
Inside shot. Is it going to roll? It doesn't as Scully goes to the floor and Poling grabs the rebound. Short jump shot, no good by Francis. It's going to bounce back out front. Addison Shappy looks inside. Jackets will deny Poling, and here comes Scully. And she'll draw the foul and go to the free throw line.
Got to play a little more straight up there if you're Jayla Shappy to try to draw that contact to fall to the side. It's going to be an obvious block call there. That's the thing, too. If you get stops on defense, you play good defense, that's going to reward you, too, in Rushi on the end of avoiding having to face that pressure. So, your offense is going to be rewarded by your good defense here. Sidney shooting free throw as well, too. 5 of 7 from the line tonight.
Scully at the line. Second toss also good. 5 minutes, 45 seconds to go. We're in the third quarter. Season opener for both these two teams here on NK Telco Sports. Shappy out front. Over to the left side is Jayla Shappy. She has the basketball. Hudgens on her. I'll tell you, Hudgens is relentless on defense.
Yeah, and I like that style of play from Kimora. It's been working.
Ball tipped away there by Scully in the corner as they try to get it to Hammonds along the baseline.
You got about 2 Rushi girls up top here. You got 3 Sidney girls playing on top here. You got to just find a way for Rushi to get that ball down the block because you have numbers there. Sidney's sagging up there a little bit. You have the numbers game down on the block if you're Rushi.
Shappy. Hudgens on her. Hammonds. She'll go to the right side as they go inside. And Poling ball taken away by Scully. Up court she races. Hudgens, top of the key into the lane. Short jumper over Poling. Poling is going to be whistled for the foul. Second personal on Poling as Kara Hudgens will go to the line. Free throw just a little bit short. Poling and Hammonds ready for any miss for the Raiders. Hudgens will connect. Claudia Haney will come into the lineup, 6'2" sophomore, as Poling will catch a breather at the 4:56 mark. Haney up court. They break the press that time. And Hazel Francis off the glass gives the Raiders a 3-point lead.
The freshman's got 8 points. A great welcome coming out party for her, and she's going to get whistled with a foul there, though.
There's a reach by Francis. That'll go against her.
It was a great back screen on that press breaker that broke Francis away from the pack. So great execution there by Russia in the full court offense there to get out and be able to put up that layup there as Dickman comes out.
Cameron Edwards back into the lineup. Her and Hammonds are they're battling away already.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sidney don't really have that size, especially with Khalees McNeil not playing tonight either.
Here's Scully. Goes left. 5-second count.
And they're really kind of being quick with that 5-second count tonight here. You saw one called on Russia. You don't really see those called too often, even in girls basketball.
Scully's a pretty savvy player.
Yeah.
She's not. That's why it kind of raises your eyebrows a little bit across the timeline. Here comes the Raiders. Haney inside to Hammond. Shot doesn't go. Hammonds just barrels in there. Rebound shot doesn't go. Vordemark will clear it out across the timeline. Top of the key, 17-footer, and it's nothing but net for Vordemark. 5 points on the night for Vordemark. 1-point game. Brandon, I think we're shaping up. This one's going to go down to the wire.
I hope so. We need some games like this.
There's the steal by Scully. Dishes it off to Schroyer, off the glass, and Sidney has a 1-point lead.
Oh, yeah, it's a nice steal, and Sidney getting out in transition. That's what you got to avoid, Russia, those steals in the full court. That's what Sidney wants to do, is get out and run.
And Arushi, Coach Bayshore will take the timeout. 3:38 to go, third quarter action. Timeouts brought to you by Precision Strip. Our scores, Sidney 27, Arushi 26. You're watching high school basketball on NK Telco Sports.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
3:38 to go, third quarter. Entry onto the court, Khalees McNeil.
Yeah, now to have a little more size here, now that Poling's in the game here.
First that McNeil has played here tonight.
And she's going to help out on the defensive end with her long arms. And, ooh, tough foul there for Kimora Johnson. Like, man, you just got to be able to escape that pressure if you're Russia. You got to avoid those turnovers, because this is where this game is, you know, taking place. If Russia avoids those turnovers, they probably have a 6-8 point lead right now. But that's what's keeping Sidney with this slight edge right now, is this pressure that they're applying.
Addison Shappy with the basketball. McNeil the chaser in this defense as they try to change things up. They're going to call the reach. Let's see who they call it on. They're going to call it on McNeil.
That's tough. I don't know. If I'm Sidney, you keep up with the aggression. You keep attacking. You don't give up on it, even if it's little ticky-tack calls that's being called here. I'd keep applying that pressure, because that's what's been working for you here in this ball game.
Out front is Haney. Poling comes out. Shot from the corner is Shappy, no good. Ball's on the floor. Shappy will find it. Addison Shappy handling the basketball. McNeil on her. Running the cut across is Jayla Shappy. She'll get it inside to Poling. Puts it up. Shot doesn't go. They got her triple team.
And Rushi's, I mean, like we said, Ronnie Poling came out guns a-blazing here tonight, with shooting the ball, and Sidney made that adjustment to her, but they finally got a one-on-one opportunity for her. When at this point in the game, if you're getting a one-on-one opportunity with Ronnie Poling, if you're Rushi, you're taking advantage of that every single time. If it's an opportunity to get that, and they did not call that. They called that on the floor, which I thought she was in the act of shooting.
Faith York into the lineup and inbounds the pass. Yellow Jackets getting quickly into foul trouble here. Well, not necessarily.
And that's the thing. You talk about depth and, really how deep are they going? They've gone 7-8 deep. They brought in Khalees McNeil now. So it's interesting. That's 3 now on Kira Hudgens now. So anyone else on the court is with 2. And Schroyer's going to check back in the game. So is Dickman.
Free throw is good. As Hazel Francis ties it up at 27, Raiders can take the lead on this free throw. Tell you, Francis is a nice-looking freshman.
Yeah, she's had some siblings go through. She had a sister go through the girls program. She has a brother that's going to be a senior on the team. So not unfamiliar with the Rushi program is the Francis name.
Up court, Scully.
We're not starting the clock. This is a second clock issue, and for those of you at home that are questioning kind of the slowdown in the game, it's the right call by the official. That's got to be on the scorers table there to be doing their job. It's the first game of the year, but it is right. You got to stop the clock when it's not being run there. That's the second time it's happened tonight.
2:38 on that scoreboard, the First National, first scoreboard. Sidney Bench wanted a foul. Not so sure they're not right. Scully trying to get it to Hudgens. It comes loose. Addison Shappy with it. McNeil chasing after. Shappy gets it back out to Francis. Francis tries to get it over to Hammonds. Hudgens with it. Here comes the breakaway, and foul will be on Faith York. And I'll tell you, Hudgens had the layup, so not a bad foul at all.
Yeah.
Wild exchange there, Brandon.
Yeah. It's just, Ronald Rushin, got to have more spacing there. You're letting Sidney crawl in those nooks and crannies, so to speak, and you're letting Sidney get out in transition there. And Hudgens, a very good free throw shooter, and Sidney just lights out from the line here tonight.
She ties it up. She's got 8 points. Olivia Foy comes in for McNeil. Foy is a freshman. She's seen action throughout tonight. Hudgens for the lead, and Sidney has a 1-point lead as we have 2 minutes and 12 seconds on that First National Bank First scoreboard. Arushi and Sidney going back and forth in this one. Season opener for all of us here tonight. Faith York goes inside, back out to Hammonds. Back over on the right side it goes. Down low it goes to Haney. She'll make the shot, but they're going to call possibly Haney for 3 seconds.
Yep. That's what they call, and she had a good move on the inside, and it's 2 points lost there by Rushi.
Schroyer back over to Foy. Foy gets it to Scully out front. Kendall Dickman with it. Hudgens has it. Yellow Jackets running their offense. Dickman cuts across. Foy trying to go inside. Double team, but I think there might be a reach from the backside.
And here Sidney's going to have 2 free throws.
That'll be on Francis, so That gives Rushi 5 fouls. So for the first time tonight, we'll see the new rule in effect as Foy has 2 free throws.
And Foy with her first varsity point, and Sidney 6 of 7 from the free throw line here. They're 10 of 13 tonight compared to Rushi's 3 of 6. So we talk about the turnovers. The charity stripe has also been a difference as well and a huge factor for the Sidney Yellow Jackets.
Foy's second free throw no good. What's the for?
They got blood on the floor.
Oh, blood on the floor.
Yeah, I could see a little dot here from up here.
That's because you have younger eyes.
Yeah. It's the advantage. We're a good balance of each other. Your wisdom, my good vision.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. That is a very small dot.
Yeah.
But they take care of business. 1:23 to go. First National Bank Think First scoreboard. 30-28 Sidney with the lead.
I think it was
We're set for action, but I think everybody's using it as an unofficial timeout.
Yeah, I think it was a Rushi player there. I think it's Claudia Haney. It's got a little bit of blood on. But now this gets a chance for Sidney to set up that press if they want to. Looks like they're backing it off.
Minute 23 to go. Raiders have 5 fouls. Of course, Sidney will have 5 here on their next one, too, so that might be another reason why they back off a little bit.
Don't want it to be a game of free throw shooting, or you can just apply the pressure in the half court.
Vordermark.
Yeah, with the way they've been calling it tonight, as soon as Vordermark went over, I knew they were going to blow the whistle, and that's Vordermark's third, I believe, because she had 2 early in the first quarter.
Yeah, she sat for quite a few minutes. And Francis at the line. Team down by 2. She'll make it a 1-point game, can tie it up on this free throw. Claudia Haney comes back in, and number 5, Callie Goubeau, also into the lineup.
Hazel Francis having a great night, and she has been a great spark for the Raider offense.
Got 12 points on the night. Good effort by Francis. We're tied at 30 into the final minute. Foy takes it to the hoop. Battle now for the rebound. I think that's going to be a jump ball.
It's going to be Sidney basketball.
Foy read that right, just wasn't able to connect.
Well, I tell you what, rebounds are always the most deceiving statistic in basketball, sometimes, especially high school basketball. That's only Sidney's second rebound at the corner, but they've been forcing a lot of turnovers on the Rushi side, so the credit for why the Raiders are out-rebounding them.
Vordermark with the basketball into the lane, puts it up.
Oh.
Shot rolls out. Somehow Foy gets the rebound. Ball taken away as Goubeau will come up with it. And up court motors Courtney Flippo. Goubeau tried to get it inside to Hammonds, but it's tipped away and out of bounds, and the Raiders will throw it in as Poling will come back in.
Yep, trying to get her kind of to get maybe a basket on the inside. And, Sidney defense has got to pay attention to that now. Good substitution by Coach Bayshore.
Inside Hammonds. Back out to Francis. Over to the right side, Flippo for 3. Shot no good. Francis gets the rebound. Works it inside, dumps it back over to Flippo. Thinks about a shot, pulls it back out. Inside Poling. And it's a 2-point lead for the Raiders.
Oh, and a much-needed big shot there for Rushi.
Clock coming down to 10 seconds. Scully has it. Dickman setting the pick. Scully goes back out, comes inside. Vordermark, turnaround, gets it. And that's going to tie it up at 32 all as the quarter ends. We've got 8 more minutes of basketball at least on hand here on NK Telco Sports. Our score, Sidney 32, Rushi 32. You're watching high school basketball on NK Telco Sports.
Kogi Plumbing and Heating is your Bryant Factory authorized dealer. We have brought the best of comfort, control, and plumbing services to the St. Mary's area for over 60 years. We have been Reader's Choice winners for the last 4 years running and excel at providing our customers with efficient and reliable heating and air conditioning, as well as responsive service when a plumbing emergency arises. We insist that the products we install in our customers' homes and businesses offer the same performance and value that we expect ourselves. Call today for your next plumbing and heating or air conditioning needs. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Fourth quarter here at the Hive in Sidney. We are deadlocked at 32 all. Russia will have the basketball. Pretty good opener for these two schools.
Yeah, it's always been a great game. Russia's kind of taken the series for a little while here, but this game has always had some very classic down-to-the-wire moments.
Hammonds gets it over to Poling. Dickman trying to defend her. Short jump shot, Francis, no good. Hudgens with the rebound. She's open. And Jordan Scully knocks it home. She doesn't get open too often quite like that. And
no.
In that transition game, as Hudgens went inside, Scully stayed behind, got the shot, and it's a 3-point lead for Sidney. Dickman with the rebound. Hudgens looking for Vordermark. Puts it on the floor. Trying to go inside. In trouble. Pushes it back out. Schroyer, 15-footer, no good. Rebound, Vordermark. She should have an easy shot. Doesn't fall as the Raiders converge on defense.
Great hustle there by Larkin Vordermark. Really getting to the ball there. Being able to hustle around and put it up and go to the line. Now she'll shoot two.
So Vordermark goes to the free throw line. All my Miami Valley League player a year ago, and she connects. Second free throw is a little bit short. Hudgens. It's going to go off of Kiara Hudgens, and Raiders will have the basketball.
Now Sidney going to reapply that full court pressure. As soon as those fouls reset to go in the fourth quarter, they're going to not be shy and putting that pressure back on.
Scully had 44 three-pointers last year for the Yellow Jackets. Inside the Poling, turnaround off the glass. It's going to count.
And what Russia identified there quickly is there's a mismatch there on Kendall Dickman, and Dickman's got her nosebleed. She took a shot from Ronnie Poling, an elbow that could have been called. But they noticed that matchup on Dickman on the inside, and they took advantage of that, Russia, while breaking that press.
Cameron Edwards will come into the lineup for the Yellow Jackets, as Poling will shoot the free throw. Vordermark will chase it down. She'll handle the basketball across the timeline. 15-footer Vordermark. Larkin Vordermark, 38-34.
Yeah, Vordermark really coming on here now, really feeling herself here getting into this fourth quarter. Really starting to take over.
Vordermark goes for the steal. Poling with the basketball. York back over to Haney. Inside to Poling. Boy, if they were going to call a foul, they could have there.
Yeah.
Thought there was a little bit of a reach, but Vordermark gets away with it that time. He hasn't tonight, I'll put it that way, as she goes inside and she'll go to the, see where we call the block. And
yeah, Shappy fell down out of position there. Now for you got to keep this within a 4-point game with the way that your offense has kind of been going here. Kind of feel like 4 to 6 points is kind of a magic number. Not necessarily out of reach, but you just want to keep it within that range here.
Yellow Jackets will take the timeout. Brought to you by Precision Strip. We'll keep it right here and remind you that tonight's game brought to you by First National Bank, Keyhole Pizza, Precision Strip, Winners Meats, Grand Lake Health Systems, and NK Telco. Additional sponsors, Carriage Works, Chiltech LLC, Cy Schwederman, Dickman Supply, Elmwood Assisted Care, Hometown Opportunity, Hillsman Automotive, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric, Minster Bank, New Knoxville Supply, Securicom, Bud's Chrysler Dodge Jeep, Crown Equipment, Shelby County Veteran Services, St. Henry Bank, and WCSM Radio. Also, tonight's game will be replayed on NK Telco Cable or the NKT.TV app on Channel 153 on Monday at 6 p.m., Channel 156 Monday at 6 p.m., and Channel 3 and 503 on December 8th at 12 p.m., and December 9th at 2 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports.
I feel like this is a big possession coming out this timeout. Whoever wins this possession here gets this next bucket, flips the momentum either way. Like I said, 6-point lead. It's not a mountain for Russia, but it definitely tilts the playing field in Sidney's way.
There's the shot by Scully, no good. Rebound comes down to Poling. Looking for that big shot, that big play, and that set play there doesn't come home for Sidney. Let's see if the Raiders can counter. Inside Poling. McNeil will draw the foul, I believe.
Yeah, they're doubling Ronnie Poling, but they're getting it to her anyway. They're saying get out the way and just try to keep making Sidney try to throw it in these windows to get it to Poling, cause him the foul. And you just got to execute these free throws if you're the Raiders.
Shot no good, and Poling with 14 points on the night. Make it 15. Hudgens will handle it. York on her. Hudgens takes it to the hoop.
Ooh.
Shot no good, about a 10-foot shot. Poling will clear the boards. They put McNeil on Poling.
Yeah, he got her doubled.
Little backside help from Vordermark. Back over to York. Vordermark almost has the steal. Now she does. Pulls it up, gets control, dishes it over to Scully, and it's a 40-35 lead.
Yep, and a nice transition. This is where Sidney's been winning this ball game here like they are now and getting out in the transition.
That's a lot of experience playing together there on that particular play. Short jumper by Haney, no good, and Hudgens will come down with it. Scully's open. There's the feed for the layup. 42-35. Russia will take the timeout. Full timeout with 4:19 to go. Yellow Jackets up by 7. Our score, Sidney 42, Russia 35. You're watching high school basketball on NK Telco Sports.
Are you looking for a rewarding career? Lincoln Electric Automation in Coldwater and Fort Loramie supplies top-of-the-line automation systems to manufacturers. Lincoln Electric Automation routinely develops its team through hiring and by offering advanced technical training. We understand that every employee matters, and every role contributes to the success of our business. We offer advancement opportunities, competitive wages, and benefit packages. Visit LincolnElectric.com and get on track to a better career and a better future.
Timeout brought to you by Precision Strip. Raiders looking at a 7-point deficit.
Yeah, and not been able to get back in transition. Scully got out ahead of the Raiders in transition. Her coach Bayshore talked about it during the intermission, said we lost her 2 times in transitions, cost us points there, 4 points, and this 7-point Sidney advantage now.
Haney with it, looking inside of Poling. Battle going on there. They're just going to call it 3 seconds instead on Poling.
Yeah, and
That play was just slow developing, and it proved to be costly there.
Well, the Raiders are telegraphing on offense. They got to develop other aspects of the game than Ronnie Poling right now, and they're too obvious where they were going to. And that 3-second call is going to happen there when she's just sitting there and not making a move. So that's on the Raider offense there, not wanting to move and swing the ball around.
Here comes Vordermark. Short jumper. Got it. 44-35. She bench wanted to travel. Raiders looking at a 9-point difference here. Jayla Shappy back over to Addison Shappy for three. Shot doesn't go. Haney with a rebound. She'll draw the foul as Vordermark will pick up her, what's that, third or fourth?
I think it's her fourth.
Should be fourth.
And Vordermark's been playing fantastic the second half.
Got three.
Yeah, she's got four. The book is what matters, but Vordermark's played a wonderful second half. And the Raiders miss the free throw.
Free throw, and Dickman will come in. As Vordermark goes out, she's got 12 points on the night. Second free throw, no good. Poling with a rebound. McNeil guilty of the foul as Poling put it up, and clock barely moves, and Poling will have to have an opportunity at the line.
Just an empty trip there for Russia from the line. They made their first four of the half, but ever since they've missed 4 out of their last 5 until that one right there by Ronnie.
Hammonds will come back in, as does Hazel Francis. Free throw is good.
I wonder how long Coach Foster's can keep out Vordermark. Surprised they didn't keep her in with the way she's playing offensively.
Hudgens out front. Poling's got 17 points. Hudgens being patient. 7-point lead, and they get the 5-second count. Schroyer will come back in as McNeil goes out. See if Russia can take advantage of the turnover and their good defense. Shappy. Francis open, shot no good. Rebound comes down to Shappy. In the corner, Hudgens has it. Hammonds back out front. Francis with the shot, no good. Poling grabs the ball and puts it up and in.
Well, a couple missed opportunities there by the Raiders, but they convert by crashing the boards hard.
5-point lead. Jada Schroyer back in the lineup for the Yellow Jackets, number 14. Scully gets it back out to Hudgens. Olivia Foy sets the pick. Hudgens inside, throws it up. And Francis, or rather, number 20, Jayla Shappy with the block.
Yeah, it's not, got to about take, Shappy's just kind of catching her with her hip. If Shappy wants to take that charge, it's the second time this has happened to her. She's got to take another step over and take it in the brunt of her chest, which a lot of people don't like to do. But she's just clipping her with her hip, and that's always going to be called a block. You're never going to get a charge call on that. Oh, they're going to say that's on the floor? I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Ball comes into Dickman. Back to Vordermark. She's back in, Brandon.
Yeah.
Right there's why.
Yep, exactly. She's been heating up this second half, and she's really been driving this Sidney offense.
Boy, found that room on the baseline and just exploited it. Lead back to 7 for Sidney, under 2 minutes left in this one. Shappy over to Shappy. Addison Shappy for 3. Shot no good. Poling is going to be guilty of a foul.
Yeah. Russia struggled from the outside on the arc tonight, 1 of 11.
It's her 4th. A minute 47. Substitutes galore as the Raiders are going to go to pressure defense all over the floor here.
Yeah, you've got to now with being down 7, and you've got to get the ball now.
Of course, the problem for that is Sidney loves it. Bickman will get her first basket. And it's 48-39. Francis puts the ball on the floor on the baseline. Haney tries to go inside, but Hudgens will grab it. That's going to be a jump ball.
That's Rush's 10th turnover of the half. They got 19 of them now. And that's really where Sidney's taking this game from is these turnovers.
Vandermark with the inbounds pass to Hudgens. There's the steal. Jayla Chappie. Back over to Borchers in the lineup. Francis shot no good. Scully with a rebound. Right side Vordermark. She'll take it into the lane. She'll draw the foul.
Chappie, that's the third time she's done it tonight. All 3 of her fouls have been the same way, just getting there a second late. It's all about timing when you want the charge call.
That's
all about timing.
Very good point, Brandon. Vordermark will go to the line. He's got 15 on the night. Lead is at 10 points, 49-39, with 1:06 to go on the First National Bank Think First scoreboard. Free throw is good. Up court, Francis got a foul.
No,
she stepped out of bounds.
Yeah.
Stepped out of bounds, yeah. Clock at 1 minute. Schroyer will inbound it. Scully with it. Raiders have 5, so 5 fouls this quarter, so.
You got a foul now. I was going to say you're call timeout.
Sidney will take a 30-second timeout.
And see, the thing is with this new rule change, too, is you used to have that hope for the 1-and-1. You know, they hope they miss the front end and we get the ball, but you don't got that anymore.
Yeah.
You don't got that hope anymore if you're a team that's trailing. So it's going to be interesting to see specifically really this year how coaches play that, because it's like, do you got to foul earlier now? Because you can't hope for that. You know, you have those couple fouls where you have the 1-and-1. You know, I like the rule change. I agree with the rule change. I think it's good for the nature and pace of play of high school basketball. But it's an interesting thing for coaches to play with, because, you know, it's an adjustment of strategy. You know, and unless we're going to develop the Elam ending, you know, you've got to, you know, in these situations, you've got to foul to stop the clock.
Yeah, I guess you do not want to collect fouls in that last quarter.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a strategy I think you'll see very quickly. You're going to have to save at least a couple.
Yeah. And that's if you play good defense is the question.
Scully, nice move, but misses the shot, and Poling with the rebound. Here comes Shappy. Clock coming up on 30 seconds. Shappy with it. Ball stolen away by Scully. Here comes the break. She's looking for Hudgens. There's the layup. And with 20 seconds left, Sidney has a 13-point lead, 52-39. Haney off the glass. Shot will fall. It's soft touch by Haney, and it's going to be the final right here. Yellow Jackets with a strong fourth quarter take a 52-41 victory over the Rushi Raiders here tonight at the Hive. Raiders started out with a 15-8 lead in the first quarter, fell behind by a point in the second quarter, and then in the second half, Sidney takes over and comes away with a 52-41 victory. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors for tonight's contest. First National Bank, Keyhole Pizza, Precision Strip, Winners Meats, Grand Lake Health Systems, and NK Telco. Our scoreboard sponsor tonight, First National Bank. Keys to the game brought to you by Keyhole Pizza. Timeout sponsor, Precision Strip. Our player of the game, which will be coming up here shortly, brought to you by NK Telco. And our post-game stats, have those here in just a moment as well, brought to you by Grand Lake Health Systems. And our live view sponsor, if you're watching us live, brought to you by Cargill. Additional sponsors for tonight's broadcast, Carriage Works, Chiltech LLC, Cy Schwiedemann, Dickman Supply, Elmwood Assisted Care, Hometown Opportunity, Hillsman Automotive, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric, Minster Bank, New Knoxville Supply, Securcom, Bud's Chrysler Dodge Jeep, Crown Equipment, Shelby County Veteran Services, St. Henry Bank, and WCSM Radio, all bringing you tonight's game. NK Telco Sports and its sponsors are pleased to bring you replays of tonight's varsity basketball action on NK Telco Cable or NKT.TV app. Channel 153 Monday at 6. Channel 156 Monday at 6 p.m. Channel 3 and 503 December the 8th at 12 p.m. December the 9th at 2 p.m. And you can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. So the win tonight goes to the Yellow Jackets. They go 1-0. Raiders drop, obviously, the season opener under Mike Bayshore. They're 0-1. Let's take a look at our numbers, all brought to you by the Grand Lake Health Systems.
First, taking a look for Russia Day, they were 17 of 41 from the field. They were 1 of 11 from beyond the arc. 20 turnovers, 30 rebounds, and they were 8 of 14 from the charity stripe. On the flip side, for City, they were 16 of 39 from the field. They were 3 of 10 from beyond the arc. They had 8 turnovers and 20 rebounds, and they were 13 of 18 from the line. So really where you saw this game take off is really kind of the final score, a little deceiving there, 50-41, but Sidney took advantage of a really good fourth quarter. It was tied, going 32-32 in there in the fourth quarter. 20 points put out there by Sidney in the fourth quarter. Difference is that turnover margin right there. I think is what you got to look at right away. Once Sidney started applying that pressure, really started affecting Russia. They weren't able to get the ball as much on the inside, but it's a Sidney experience, I think, that ended up playing in the end in the second half with girls like Jordan Scully and Larkin Vordemark. You said that they were going to be running mates in the early going, and that's how they're going to win a lot of their games this year, is on the backs of Scully and Vordemark. It's just how it's going to be for Sidney this year, and they showed why here on opening night, and they get a big victory, a big non-conference victory. You know, it's the first time since 2015 that Sidney has beaten Russia, so that's a good, omen, hopefully, for them to start their season. You get a good quality non-conference win, and you go from here.
Yeah, and you throw in a player like Kiara Hutchins, who's also an excellent backcourt player, and, you kind of look at it and you go, Sidney could put the ball in the hoop.
Yeah.
Russia, I'm not going to say it was exclusively polling. They look to her a lot, and obviously you're going to.
Yeah.
But you also have to have some alternative scoring.
Yeah. Hazel Francis had 12 points tonight, and we'll say from Russia, did see some things you like. But overall, I think when he got to the fourth quarter, you just saw the quickness of Sidney take over, which you kind of saw in the early going, which, you don't watch these teams scrimmage. You know what you see from them the year before, but you could kind of see that in the first quarter, and eventually in the fourth quarter that gave way. And kind of when Scully hit that three to start the fourth quarter, you kind of just felt the momentum shift Sidney's way. But on Russia's end, I mean, you look, man, they're going to be battle tested right away. Sidney night, they got to turn around tomorrow night. They got a good Minster team coming in. They play on the road. They play Jackson Center. They got Mississinawa next Saturday. That's maybe in this area one of the toughest first 4 games in the area that any team's going to have. You're looking at a team that's going to win the Miami Valley League potentially. You got Jackson, which is going to be up there competing for the Shelby County League, and Mississinawa team that's going to compete for the WOAC championship this year. So, I mean, Russia's got a tough start, a young team, but I see a lot of bright things here out of Coach Michael Bayshore's team here in the early going.
Well, you mentioned Hazel Francis. For a freshman in her first varsity game, outstanding effort. by Hazel Francis.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to see her, and I think you're going to see, you're just feeling things out. And Rushi is so young. I mean, the only veterans he got playing on this team are Ronnie Poling, Lacey Flippo, Jayla Shappy, and Addison Shappy, Shay Hammonds. But a lot of it is a lot of young people that he's trying to work in, and you're going to see frequent changes. I like what I see out of Coach Bayshore's team. Very, very, youthful. But this Sidney team has the experience that the Raiders don't have yet. They have, they had girls that have played with Stockton and Brewer, Clark and all those guys last year. So you watch Scully and you watch Vordemark play. I mean, they have logged more varsity minutes than most average players do in their lifetime. So that showed there in the fourth quarter. That showed that eventually happened. That's nothing you can teach if you're Coach Bayshore. It's just gaining that experience and a lot of good things from Rushi. They're going to have a successful season.
And we've got a player of the game to select, brought to you by NK Telco. Brandon, the selection is?
We're going to go with Larkin Vordemark. Just going to win it a lot this year. Had her down for 17 points tonight. A lot of that coming in the second half. She just played a great presence on the defensive and offensive end, and Larkin did a great job here tonight. So congratulations, Larkin Vordemark, NK Telco player of the game. Congratulations, Sidney, starting out 1-0 for the first time in the Jamal Foster era.
Yeah, and Jamal's got a real nice record, too, as you take a look at his 4 years. Starts out year number 5 with a victory, and Sidney's off to what looks to be a very promising season. They take the win, 57. Pull the JV roster out. That's not going to work.
Yeah, 52-41.
52-41. And in the JV, if you're interested, it was 57-20. The Raiders over Sidney in the JV. So Yellow Jackets with the big win. Thanks for joining us here on NK Telco Sports. Opening contest of the high school basketball season. Always a pleasure. Lots of basketball upcoming here on NK Telco Sports. And again, the Raiders fall to Sidney. Yellow Jackets go to 1-0. You have been watching high school basketball on NK Telco Sports.